Hello there. In the comments on my last video, it was suggested that I talk about how to select training loads. That will be a rather short video, but while preparing it, I decided that in order to fully understand the topic, we need to explain what is the actual difference between a novice, intermediate, and advanced trainee. So that's what we're going to do today. And in the next video, I will talk about selecting training loads and how it relates to different advancement levels. So how to know whether someone is a novice, intermediate, or advanced? What determines that? Most information you're going to find on that will refer to time periods. So for example, for your first year of training, you are a novice. After a year, you become intermediate. And after, let's say, 3 or 5 years, you become advanced. And that sort of classification makes absolutely no sense. Being a beginner or advanced has nothing to do with how much time you've spent in the gym or an endurance type activity, but with the physiological state of your body in that context. Specifically, it depends on where you are on the physiological adaptation spectrum. Here we have to once again mention the adaptation process, which I explained in detail in these videos. As a really quick reminder, the process of adaptation is simply a process of incremental improvement of a given feature through adaptation to stimuli, in this case, training stimuli. So you have a training session, through it you improve your strength or endurance a bit, then after the next training session it improves a little bit more, and so on gradually. So you can think of this physical adaptation spectrum as a path between your starting point as an untrained person and your maximum potential. The process of adaptation, just like many other biological and not only biological processes, follows the law of diminishing returns, which means it produces significant and rapid effects at the beginning, but the longer it goes, the more it slows down. Over time, the effects become more difficult and take longer to achieve. In training, we can see that very clearly, because initially you're able to increase your strength pretty fast, but the longer you train, the more difficult it becomes to keep making progress. It takes more time and effort. So in other words, the weaker you are, the easier and quicker it takes to get stronger. And the stronger you are, the more difficult and longer it takes to get even stronger. And it is the adaptation process we refer to determine whether someone is a novice, intermediate, or advanced. It depends on how much you have already adapted to training and how much more you can still adapt. When you're here on the adaptation spectrum, you can grow stronger quickly, session to session, and it comes easy. You use the simplest training methods with maximum effectiveness. You are a novice. Once the simplest methods cease to be maximally effective, progress slows down, you are somewhere around here. You start to modify training parameters a little bit. You plan and make progress more like week to week as opposed to day. You are an intermediate. When you reach a point where progress slows down even more, you have to think in terms of much longer training cycles. The progress isn't linear and you make it on monthly or even yearly basis. You are an advanced lifter. So your advancement level doesn't depend on for how long you've been going to the gym, at least not directly. On the graph, you can see that it does give the time of particular stages. And yes, we can make assumptions based on our experience of training a lot of people about approximately after how long the linear progression will stop working and the trainee will have entered a more advanced stage. But that works only under the assumption that the training is optimal. And the vast majority of people, definitely over 90% of gym goers, do not train optimally. In fact, most people don't train at all, they just exercise. It is a crucial difference I explained in this video. Majority of people going to the gym simply focus on the wrong things. They don't plan their sessions or progress specifically. They don't follow a specific program. I'm sure that every one of us who regularly trains at a gym knows some people there that go there month after month, year after year, and all this time they look exactly the same and they lift the same weights. Nothing changes for them. No adaptation occurs, so therefore they don't move at all towards higher level of advancement. If you're able right now to begin training optimally with simple progression and make realistic progress workout to workout, that means you're still unadapted to strength training and haven't even started to tap into your potential. You are a novice, even if you've been going to the gym for 10 years. And because it is true for so many people, we can confidently say that over 90% of gym goers are novices when we look at this from objective physiological perspective. And when we add people who are novices in the most obvious way, so who have never done any form of training or exercise, we're getting even closer to 100%. That's why I focus so much on basic training principles in my videos, because the more advanced ones are of any use only for the tiny proportion of trainees who have reached an actually advanced stage of training. And that doesn't happen accidentally, but through careful planning. So those people probably know what they're doing and how they should train anyway. Keep these conclusions in mind for the next video. They will be quite relevant while we talk about selecting training loads. In the meantime, as always, I invite you to check out my Facebook fan page, linked in the description, and to subscribe if you want to help the channel grow. See you next time.